In an ordinary small county in Linyi, Shandong province, a horrific case unfolded that shocked the whole nation. Few could bear to see it through till the end. For those who hear it, the brutality is nothing less than mental torture. All because of a wedding photo, the couple's home, where they had lived for just half a year, became a slaughterhouse picked by 4 demons. After a theft, they developed evil intentions towards the beautiful wife. They cased the house beforehand, cut the surveillance, carried handcuffs and daggers, and lurked their way into the couple's home. For 8 long hours, the wife, 3 months pregnant, was assaulted many times. The husband was even made to cook for the murders. To protect one another, they kept giving in, fooled by the criminals' lies. Only when the bodies were found deep in a cave did the true horror dawn. Far beyond what anyone had imagined. The husband's body was mutilated beyond recognition. When the forensic lightly touched it, the wife's pelvis broke into pieces. On May 15, 2013, Aunt Lee from the Fei Street office in Linyi, Shandong province, got up very early. Because just the night before, her son and daughter-in-law had called, saying they would come home for breakfast the next day. They had just been married for half a year, were very close and deeply in love, and the daughter-in-law was already 3 months pregnant. Understanding that young people work hard, Aunt Lee got up early to make pancakes and cook dishes, preparing a table full of delicious breakfast. But she waited until 10 a.m. and still didn't see them. She first called her son Hu Hongtao twice. No one answered. After a while, she called her daughter-in-law Li Hong's phone. Still no answer. After getting married, the young couple ran a small food business near the edge of town. At first, Aunt Lee thought maybe work had kept them from coming back for breakfast as planned. So she called their restaurant's landline. Still, no one answered. A sudden immense unease suddenly rose in Aunt Lee's heart. Her son and daughter-in-law were thoughtful and reliable. They would never break a promise without telling her. So she quickly locked her door and headed to their new home to see what was going on. Both Hu Hongtao and Li Hong preferred quiet, so they chose to build their new home far from the town. Since they weren't originally from the village, they had no residential land there. They could only build their house on the village outskirts. The location was quite remote, but not completely isolated. In front of the house stood a poplar forest. Nearby was a pumping station. A few hundred meters away stood a small hill. Their life was simple, but they cherished it. They tiled their new home with beautiful ceramics and kept everything clean and tidy, both inside and out. As she entered the iron gate in the yard, Aunt Lee felt relieved. She noticed the main door was slightly open and assumed they were home. As she stepped forward, she called out loudly, "You're both home, why didn't you answer your phones?" But when she entered the house and looked around, inside and out, she found it completely empty. Only on the tea table were a few plates of leftovers, already cold. Among them was a pot of braised pork. Aunt Lee was surprised. First, because the couple always kept things clean. How could they leave without doing the dishes, or even locking the door? Second, neither of them liked braised pork. They thought it was too fatty. Why would they make such a large pot of it? Finding no one inside, Aunt Lee decided to lock up and check around outside. But just as she was about to leave the yard, something in the corner caught her eye. She moved closer to look and was instantly so terrified that she collapsed to the ground. It was a dead long-haired Pekingese dog. She knew the couple had been robbed some time before. In towns and villages like theirs, people seldom report thefts to the police. Unless a large amount was stolen, the police usually couldn't help much. It was like an unwritten rule. So after that theft, the couple installed surveillance cameras in the yard and bought a dog to guard their home. Now it was covered in blood, with a blood-stained brick placed beside it. Knowing her son or daughter-in-law could never do this, Aunt Lee hurriedly took out her phone and called the police in a panic. About 10 minutes later, police from the Fei Bureau arrived at the scene. After hearing Aunt Lee's brief account, they split into two teams. One conducted a full forensic sweep of the house, while the other searched the surrounding area for any suspicious clues. Inside the house, police checked the surveillance system, only to find the cables had been cut and the computer connected to the cameras was missing. The first floor had security windows, but the one outside the bathroom had been pried open, allowing entry into the house. In the living room, under the sofa, police found a broken mop handle. Near the washing machine, another broken wooden stick was leaning against the wall. On the table, aside from unfinished dishes, were several opened beer bottles. The house had 2 bedrooms, furnished simply: a bed, a cabinet, and a computer missing its main unit. The bed seemed neatly made at a glance, but the observant police soon noticed something unusual. According to local customs, a thin mattress is laid first, then covered with a bed cover, and finally a sheet. But this bed had no thin mattress or bed cover. Only a sheet laid directly over the mattress, with pillows and a quilt tossed on top. When police lifted the quilt and sheet, a shocking sight was revealed. The center of the mattress was soaked with blood, and the back of the pillow on the south side had a fresh blood stain the size of a palm. Opening the wardrobe, police found signs of disturbance, along with traces of blood on the floor. Using forensic equipment, they detected that the blood stains had been wiped. The second bedroom, opposite the master, was in disarray. Clothes were scattered on the floor, including torn underwear. The presence of blood, along with the cleanup and disguised arrangement, made investigators deeply uneasy. They believed the couple was likely harmed, and the female victim may have been assaulted. Not long after, the other team made a key discovery. In the nearby Wanliang River, they found 3 plastic bags submerged in the water. Tied tightly, their contents were preserved. Inside the bags were blood-stained clothes and some household trash. Among the trash, police found a Rural Credit Cooperative bank card, and inside a pair of men's jeans, they discovered another card from the Agricultural Bank of China. Around the same time, near the couple's home, a local reported bloodstains near the pumping station. Police rushed to the site. Beside the station was a steep slope, about 2 stories high, with 2 small steps at the bottom. Following traces of blood down the slope, they walked another 300 meters and came across a cave. The opening was about a meter above the ground, surrounded by quiet, secluded woods, a place rarely visited. There, police noticed a pile of corn stalks blocking the entrance. A sense of dread struck them. They rushed forward and pulled the stalks away. Soon, a pair of feet came into view. When all the stalks were cleared, 2 bodies, a man and a woman, were revealed. They were the missing couple. The state of the bodies horrified everyone present. Both victims' heads were wrapped in cloth. The husband, Hu Hongtao, was covered in wounds. He wore no pants, his hands and neck were bound, and his upper clothes were soaked with a red liquid. The wife, Li Hong, was partially clothed, with clear signs of injury and foreign objects left on her body. The bodies were sent for autopsy. Forensic examination confirmed both died of suffocation. When the head coverings were removed, Hu was found to have 3 penetrating head wounds, a sharp object injury through his chest, and broken toothpicks stuck between his fingers. Li Hong had multiple burns on her chest and dense puncture wounds. During the examination, when the forensic team tried to gently move her body, something heartbreaking happened. With barely any force applied, her pelvis shattered. When Aunt Lee saw her son and daughter-in-law's bodies, she broke into heart-wrenching sobs. Her grief pierced everyone's heart. The murderer's brutality was beyond imagination. Every officer at the scene vowed silently to catch the murderers as soon as possible. By contacting the banks, police quickly found a clue from the salvaged bank cards. The Rural Credit Cooperative card belonged to the female victim, Li Hong. Bank records showed that on May 14th, at 9:33 p.m., the card was used for 6 withdrawals, totaling 11,000 yuan. Footage from the ATM showed a man in a woman's hooded jacket during the withdrawal. Aunt Lee identified the jacket as Li Hong's. The other card was a welfare card, registered in Xintai City, Shandong. Bank staff informed police that the card received a monthly subsidy of 55 yuan, often withdrawn in sums of 100 or 200. The last withdrawal was on May 11th, in Wennan Town, Xintai, the hometown of the cardholder, Fu Daxing. But Fu Daxing was nearly 70 years old, and Xintai was over 100 kilometers from Feixian. How did his card end up in Hu Hongtao's jeans? Puzzled, police immediately drove to Xintai. After inquiries, they found Fu Daxing did not know the victims. This was strange. Police had thought the two knew each other, and that Fu may have visited the couple, accidentally leaving his card behind. Soon, however, police learned the card's real user was not Fu Daxing, but his son, Fu Gang. Fu Gang was 25 at the time, spent his days idle and lazy, often hung around internet cafes, and had made a group of disreputable friends. Fu Daxing said his son had no income and often withdrew the subsidy money. This news excited the police. They quickly identified Fu Gang as a suspect. His involvement marked a major breakthrough in the case. Following the trail, police identified Fu Gang's usual companions: Zhang Xuejuan, Wang Jiaying, and Zhao Feng. After comparison, they confirmed 17-year-old Zhao Feng was the person withdrawing money at the ATM on the 14th. With the truth close at hand, police set up surveillance at key transport hubs. Their persistence paid off. Working in shifts and monitoring through the night, they soon found the four suspects intended to flee by long-distance bus from Jining toward Xintai. Feixian police immediately contacted local officers and launched a joint arrest. On the afternoon of May 17th, police intercepted the bus in Ningyan County, Tai'an. Faced with armed officers, the four reacted with panic, revealing their true colors in the chaos. Wang Jiaying stood up and blurted out, "I'm not with them." The youngest, Zhao Feng, tried to jump out the window. An officer yelled, "Stop or I'll shoot." Overwhelmed with terror, he collapsed to the floor and lost control of his bowels. With solid evidence, the four offered little resistance after arrest and soon confessed to the crime. Because the case involved sexual assault, details are withheld to protect the victims. Only Zhang Xuejuan's confession has been made public, but I believe he downplayed his own actions, glossing over many brutal details. Forensic evidence and the autopsy suggest the victims endured extreme physical and mental torture during those 8 hours. According to Zhang Xuejuan's confession, around 3 p.m. on May 15, 2013, the four men stood on a platform near the pumping station. They saw Hu Hongtao and Li Hong at home, but with people nearby, they didn't dare rob the place then. Around 6 p.m., the couple left on their electric scooter. Once they were gone, Zhang Xuejuan led the others to the house. As they prepared to climb the wall, they spotted the surveillance cameras in the yard. Fu Gang offered to cut the camera wires, while the others pried open the security window and went inside. Entering the house, Zhang Xuejuan saw a piece of watermelon on the table. He went to the fridge to get more for everyone. After cutting the camera cables, Fu Gang entered and went straight to the master bedroom to check the computer. He found the cutting had been recorded and became nervous. Zhang said they could just take the computer when they left. Apart from Fu Gang, the other three had brought daggers. Zhang Xuejuan went to the kitchen and gave Fu Gang a kitchen knife. They found some ice cream in the freezer and ate it while searching the master bedroom for valuables. The four were furious and they refused to leave empty-handed. Just then, Zhang Xuejuan pointed at the wedding photo by the bed. He asked the others if the bride was pretty. They all said she was. So he proposed they wait in the bedroom till the couple came back. They could assault the bride, force her to give the pin, kill them both, and then leave. The others agreed at once. So they sat down and waited. Around 7 p.m., they heard the door unlock. Soon, Li Hong was heard saying, "I'm going to change," and walked toward the bedroom. The four hid behind the door. As Li Hong entered, Zhao Feng held her at knife point. Fu Gang, Wang Jiaying, and Zhang Xuejuan rushed out to subdue Hu Hongtao. Hearing Li Hong scream, Hu Hongtao reacted quickly, grabbing a stool. He swung it at them, but the three were armed with knives and quickly overpowered him. Zhang Xuejuan took out a pair of handcuffs and cuffed Hu Hongtao's hands. Then they began demanding the bank card PIN. At first, Hu Hongtao stayed silent. After a few kicks, he gave them a code. Zhang Xuejuan cautiously tested it on his phone. It was fake. But focused on other plans, they used a knife to cut a power cord, then used it to bind Hu Hongtao's legs. Wang Jiaying suggested pulling his pants down to his ankles to prevent escape. Then he and Zhao Feng eagerly took Li Hong to the smaller bedroom. Thinking it would be easier to kill them later in the bedroom, Zhang Xuejuan took Hu Hongtao to the master bedroom. He then asked Fu Gang if he could cook and told him to make a few dishes. Alone with Hu Hongtao in the master bedroom, Zhang Xuejuan ignored his pleas not to harm them. Fu Gang cooked a dish of peppers with pork and another of braised pork. He tasted his dishes and told Zhang Xuejuan they were not good. So Zhang Xuejuan made Hu Hongtao go recook the dishes. He and Fu Gang escorted him to the kitchen, uncuffed one hand and cuffed the right hand again. Then Fu Gang held a knife to his neck while watching him cook. Zhang told Fu Gang to eat after cooking, then went to check on the smaller bedroom. Li Hong sat naked against the wall. Wang Jiaying stood by the bed. Zhao Feng was getting dressed. Zhang Xuejuan called them over and whispered a reminder, "We have to kill them tonight." After a quick discussion, they decided to carry it out at 3 a.m. After deciding to kill the couple, Zhang Xuejuan walked alone into the smaller bedroom. Li Hong asked him when they would leave. He replied, "Soon. Keep me company for a while." Li Hong then asked, "If I do, will you leave right away?" Zhang Xuejuan said, "After you've been with me, and after the others have eaten, we'll go immediately." When Zhang finished assaulting her and came out, Hu Hongtao had already been taken back to the master bedroom. He had been beaten and was sitting cuffed on the bed, with Fu Gang watching him. When Fu Gang saw Zhang come in, he quickly said he was going to take a shower. But after leaving the room, he didn't go to wash. Instead, he went straight to where Li Hong was. Wang and Zhao were in the living room watching TV. Zhang noticed the master bedroom was in disarray. A nightstand had been knocked over, a broken beer bottle lay on the floor, and Hu Hongtao's right arm was injured, dripping blood. He asked Hu how it happened. Hu said he was cut by the broken bottle. After hearing this, Zhang found a towel, wiped the blood, and took the chance to ask for the real PIN. This time, Hu Hongtao didn't lie. He gave the correct code. Zhang then sent Wang and Zhao to withdraw money on the electric scooter. He opened both the master and smaller bedroom doors, standing between them, so he could watch Fu Gang assault Li Hong while also keeping an eye on Hu Hongtao. With the doors open, Li Hong wept bitterly, and the dog in the yard barked incessantly. Hu Hongtao began begging them again not to hurt her. To calm him, Zhang verbally agreed. Around 10 p.m., Wang and Zhao returned. Wang couldn't help telling Zhang, "That man really has money. We took out 11,000 in total. We bought 4 drinks, beer, snacks, 2 packs of Yushi cigarettes, and 3 packs of Su cigarettes. It cost over 100. After returning, Wang said he was hungry again, so Zhang went to the kitchen and made some food. The 3 of them ate supper while watching TV in the living room, while Fu Gang remained in Li Hong's room. After eating, the 3 entered the master bedroom, blindfolded Hu Hongtao with a black cloth, and turned off the light. Then Zhang went to check on Fu Gang and Li Hong. After a while, Zhao also went in. Li Hong asked again when they would leave, adding, "Please go soon, I won't call the police." Zhang, in front of Li Hong, asked Wang what time it was. Wang said it was almost 1 a.m. Zhang then asked Li Hong, "Are there still buses running this late?" Li Hong shook her head blankly and said, "I don't think so." So Zhang said, "Then we'll stay here tonight and leave in the morning." After getting up, Fu went to shower, then lay down on the sofa south of the living room to sleep. Zhang and Zhao lay on the bed in the smaller bedroom. Li Hong covered herself with a quilt, sitting against the wall, not daring to move. Around 1:30 a.m., Wang called Zhang and Zhao to the living room, saying Fu wanted to sleep holding Li Hong. Zhang agreed. But only minutes after Fu went in, Li Hong's screams were heard, sharp and piercing. Zhang rushed to the door and told him to keep it down, then closed the door. As soon as he shut it, the bedroom light went out, but Li Hong's crying continued. The dog in the yard started barking wildly again. Zhang, unable to bear it, ordered Wang Jiaying to deal with the dog. So Wang found a brick outside and killed the dog in the corner. The crying went on for a very long time. Wang Jiaying and Zhao Feng grew curious and decided to go in and see. But when Fu Gang saw them enter, he got up and went to shower again. A short while later, Wang and Zhao came out, and Zhang went in. He lay down on the bed. Li Hong again asked when they would leave, but he had lost patience and stayed silent. He lay there until 3 a.m., when Wang entered and turned on the light. Finally, Zhang spoke. He said to Li Hong, "Put your clothes on." Thinking they were finally leaving, Li Hong didn't even put on her underwear, hurriedly pulling on her jeans and a long-sleeved t-shirt. Zhang then called Zhao Feng in to watch Li Hong, while he and the others went to the master bedroom to kill Hu Hongtao. Before doing it, Zhang suggested letting the couple see each other one last time. He brought Hu to the smaller bedroom, pushed him toward Li Hong, and stood by the door. He heard Li Hong ask Hu Hongtao, "Are you okay?" Hu didn't answer, but instead asked her, "Are you okay?" As soon as he spoke, Li Hong threw herself into his arms, crying and said through tears, "I'm fine." Hu Hongtao said, "That's good, that's good." A few minutes later, Hu was pulled back to the master bedroom. Wang Jiaying, Zhang Xuejuan, and Fu Gang used a computer cable, an iron chain, and a plastic bag, and killed him. According to Zhang's recollection, throughout the process, Hu Hongtao remained quiet. Just before he died, he asked the three of them to keep the noise down and not frighten Li Hong. After Hu Hongtao stopped breathing, the three entered the bedroom where Li Hong was. They saw Zhao Feng assaulting her. Perhaps sensing danger, Li Hong asked in a tearful voice as they entered, "Where is my husband?" Zhang Xuejuan replied, "We've killed him. Now it's your turn." These words devastated Li Hong. 8 hours of humiliation and submission, 8 hours of torture, ended with this sentence. She broke down in tears. Then all four killed her with a plastic bag. We won't describe the details here. Their brutality was beyond inhuman. What's worse, after Li Hong lay still, Fu Gang lit a cigarette and burned her chest to test if she was really dead. When she struggled violently again, he continued the assault until she stopped moving. Finally, Wang Jiaying checked her chest, confirmed no breathing, and felt relieved. Then Fu Gang took toothpicks into the master bedroom and inserted them into Hu Hongtao's fingertips to test whether he was truly dead. After that, the four discussed how to dispose of the bodies. When the police asked about the process of disposing, Zhang said that he and Zhao were in charge of Li Hong. They carried the body to the pumping station, then rolled it down the slope until it stopped at the bottom of the steps. They then lifted him again and kept walking forward for about 200 to 300 meters until they saw the entrance of a cave. Inside, there was a layer of straw spread across the ground. The cave entrance was not low. They had to step on a gap in the rock to look inside. They thought the place was ideal for dumping the body, so they threw Li Hong in. Just then, Fu Gang called Zhao Feng. He said they couldn't move Hu's body and asked Zhang and Zhao to come back and help. So Wang Jiaying and Fu Gang carried Hu by the arms, while Zhang and Zhao held his legs. Together, the four threw him into the cave. They pulled out some straw from inside to cover the opening. After dumping the bodies, the four returned to the house to clean up. They mopped the bloodstains with a rag. Then Fu Gang noticed the jeans Hu Hongtao had been wearing. He picked them up and put them on, transferring everything from his pockets, including the welfare card, into the new pants. Then they changed the bedding, cleared away cigarette butts and trash from the living room, and bagged the bloodied clothes. Just as they finished packing and were about to leave, Fu Gang saw he had stained the jeans with blood. He had to take them off and change back into his own pants. He stuffed Hu Hongtao's stained jeans into a plastic bag along with the rest of the trash and the emptied bank cards. On their way out, they tossed the 3 bags of evidence into a nearby river. Hearing this, the police found the story inconsistent. Aunt Lee had told them the couple had been robbed before, which was why they installed cameras. Yet Zhang's group arrived with handcuffs and knives, fully equipped. Had they really traveled over 100 kilometers on a whim, waited for hours, and only then decided to attack during a theft? That just doesn't add up. So the investigator cut Zhang off, asking when they had really decided to kill the couple. At first, Zhang tried to insist it was a spontaneous choice during the robbery. But the police challenged him, saying the evidence showed he was hiding something. Zhang then asked whether telling the truth could reduce his sentence. The officer said they couldn't promise that, but would report his cooperation to the judge. Only then did Zhang admit it had all been planned from the start. It turns out that the previous theft at this house was also committed by the same group. That time, they stole around 1,000 yuan in cash. The only slight difference was that Fu Gang hadn't joined them yet. After that first theft, the wedding photo in the bedroom kept lingering in Zhang Xuejuan's mind. He thought the woman of the house was very beautiful, and he secretly vowed to find a chance to assault her. On the day of the crime, the 4 had been browsing the internet in Mengyin County. Running low on money, they planned another robbery. Zhang Xuejuan seized the chance to suggest returning to Hu Hongtao's home. All 4 agreed, and they headed back. On the afternoon of May 14th, they took a taxi from the county to near the couple's home. After getting out, they lingered around the pumping station, then moved into a small grove to smoke and talk things over again. Zhang told them that during the earlier theft, he'd seen the couple's wedding photo, the wife was very beautiful, and that they would assault her after breaking in. Fu Gang added that even if they didn't rob the place, he still wanted to see how pretty she was. Several of them had previous criminal records. Unlike robbery, rape is much easier to leave behind evidence. After a discussion, the 4 agreed to kill the couple afterward. Zhang confessed they initially planned to dump the bodies in water, but Wang Jiaying said it was too shallow to hide them. So he suggested hiding the bodies in a cave. When police asked how they found the cave, Zhang said he'd probably found it the first time he cased the place. The rest of what happened was largely consistent with his earlier statement. At this point, let's take a closer look, based on the police investigation, at these 4 demons. Since 2012, they had operated together or alone, roaming between counties in Jining and Taiyuan. They robbed and stole repeatedly, taking large amounts of cash and jewelry. In total, the stolen value exceeded 100,000 yuan. Zhang Xuejuan, 25 at the time, had been a left-behind child, raised by his grandmother. He dropped out of middle school and drifted into crime. He had previously been sentenced to 8 years for robbery and was released on parole in 2011. According to his confession, he was the group's leader, the one who came up with the ideas, pushed things forward, and assigned the tasks. No one ever questioned him. He rarely used force himself, only helping to hold Li Hong's legs during her killing. Throughout the crime, he spoke little, yet managed to extract the real pin with few words. He repeatedly assured the couple that they wouldn't be harmed. He kept Li Hong clinging to hope, appearing almost calm, even non-violent. Yet in the end, he committed the most heinous act of all. Of the 4, he was perhaps the most terrifying. Fu Gang, 26 at the time, weighed over 190 pounds, about 95 kilograms. Aside from Zhang, he was perhaps the vilest of them all. His father, Fu Daxing, was already 70 and suffered from severe heart disease. His mother was also ill and had long lost the ability to work. The family lived in 2 crumbling old rooms, surviving only on welfare assistance. Fu Gang had also dropped out of middle school and turned to theft and robbery. He had 1 prior prison term. Despite his family's condition, he squandered what little they had, even taking their welfare card. During the crime, he was the most brutal one. Based on the forensic report and Zhang's testimony, it's not hard to imagine why Li Hong screamed and cried hysterically when he entered the room. The two victims' bodies bore the marks of his extreme cruelty, acts utterly devoid of humanity. Wang Jiaying, 22, was also a left-behind child. After dropping out of school, he drifted into crime. He had been sentenced to 3 years for robbery, with a 3-year suspension. He met Zhang at an internet cafe. Impressed by Zhang's time in prison, he decided to follow him. He obeyed Zhang in everything and contributed plenty of cruel ideas, from suggesting the dumping site to ordering them to pull down Hu Hongtao's pants. As for Zhao Feng, little is known about him. Even his name is an alias. Among the four, he was merely a minor accomplice. After all four were captured, the Lini Intermediate People's Court in Shandong took up the case. Fu Gang, Zhang Xuejuan, Wang Jiaying, and Zhao Feng were convicted of robbery, rape, and intentional homicide. On June 22, 2016, Fu, Zhang, and Wang were executed. Zhao Feng, being a minor at the time of the crime, was sentenced to 22 years in prison. According to unconfirmed reports, he has been repeatedly beaten by other inmates and suffered severe brain damage. With that, the case was finally closed. Police later reenacted the crime multiple times. Each time, they arrived at the same grim conclusion. Once Hu Hongtao and Li Hong entered their home that night, there was no chance of survival. Even with surveillance cameras and a guard dog, even though the couple lived honest and peaceful lives, once targeted by such evil, there was simply no escape. The horror of this case is hard to dwell on. Through words alone, it pulls you into a void of fear and helplessness. What are your thoughts on this tragedy? Feel free to share your reflections below.
That's all for now. If you enjoyed this case, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow Case Diaries. There are plenty more cases coming your way. Got thoughts on today's story? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you in the next one.